and endless skies. Oh, I'm living that nomad life, city to city, feeling alive. From mountain tops to ocean drives, unchained I thrive, I thrive.
So we are live. This is great. So it's good to see you again, because we
Yeah,
did
same here.
a podcast a while back, and funnily enough, actually your show coincided with this week, so it's actually coming on this week on my
Okay.
Substack. So your show, the
Okay.
interview that we did, is going to be
Okay.
coming up on Thursday this week. So
All right.
it's going to
Perfect.
be Pamela all the time this week.
I'm famous.
You're Substack famous. This is great. You're gonna be hanging out with rock stars and driving
That's
around
right.
in their Escalades and
There we go.
going to parties all night long. It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So the topic of the day, if we can just jump right into it, is getting rid of your stuff as a nomad. So not necessarily as a nomad, but just in general.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, especially in North America, we have this love of stuff, I think. And some of it may have come from actually the conversation we were having just a few minutes ago, or over the last hour or so, about how Americans don't travel.
Yeah.
Right? They don't travel. And it's interesting that a bunch of things converge. So somebody else was talking about how, well, we have disposable income, but we don't have disposable time, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
what do we do with that disposable income? We buy stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that come into it because, as I pointed out, it's harder for us to travel just because we're so big.
Yeah.
Whereas Europeans can go, they can visit 10 countries with no trouble. So that's the big problem here. So like you say, because you're stuck at home, and we're just a consumeristic society. It's just,
there's
who we are.
nothing around.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we are starting to see more people crave experiences. So they will do, but the experiences again will be things like, well, more streaming services, or I'll go to the local whatever. So I'll try not to leave anywhere, but it still doesn't save us from stuff, right? Because we still we still want to create more stuff. And the thing is that unless you move a lot, you tend to collect. Right? I mean, I've been in this house for 18 years. I don't know how long you've been in wherever you've been, but every time I go to a house, and every time I've been there for an extended period of time, there's just more and more and more and more stuff.
Yeah. I actually moved about 8 years ago now, from the tiniest little apartment ever to this place, which is much more of a family home. And believe me, I have filled it. And part of it was I was doing product reviews. So I actually also was given a lot of stuff that I was reviewing. So a lot of it's not stuff I technically bought, but I still had to pay taxes on it. It's considered income. Yeah. But it was easier to accumulate because, I only have to pay however much the taxes are. I guess I'll try it.
And there's something satisfying about having stuff, right? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's it is a consumerist thing. It is sort of the, I don't really want to say that, he who dies with the most toys wins, but sometimes it feels like kind of that's where we're at.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is it's survival, if you think about it, because in a survival situation, you want to have as much as you can just in case those things are not available later.
Right.
So I think it's actually probably a pretty natural survival thing. And then we also come from, a generation, a couple generations ago, people were in a depression, and they've kind of passed that mentality on to some of us as well.
Would you say that haven't happened to you? Because I think I had some of that from my parents. Yeah.
Yes. My parents, my mother was from Scotland, my father's from England, and he came over with nothing. And he worked his butt off. And I remember when we were going through all of his stuff when we moved him up here, he was like, "But you're getting rid of all my stuff, all the things that I worked so hard for." And I actually sat him down at one point. He had all these sheds full of stuff. And I actually pulled all this stuff out onto the carport on one, and I sat him down in a chair. I said, "You're going to see what I'm going through right now. And you get to help me pick out what gets to stay." And the amount of things that they've been sitting in this outside shed and they'd gotten, full of bugs,
Yeah, they deteriorated.
and deteriorated. And it was Florida, so heat, humidity, all that. So as he's going through this stuff, we're seeing multiples of things and whatever, you could see he slowly got it, and we actually found this box he hadn't opened since he moved in there, and that was maybe 10 years. And he had all these tartan ties because the Scottish heritage, and we opened this box up, and there's these moth-eaten,
Oh no.
wool ties that were useless at that point. He's like, "Oh, I wondered where they went."
But they were dear at some point. Like at some point in your life,
Oh yeah.
they're like, "Wow, these things are great, and I want to keep them."
Oh, they're very much something he wanted to have and wear.
Right.
But again, and there was actually also a box from the 1960s with my mother's wedding dress, which was ruined
Oh
from,
no.
again, bad exposure, plus things like receipts from gas stations and their old mortgage and everything else. I mean, I found some fascinating paperwork just out of,
Yeah.
for historical. So it's amazing what people will keep and take from one place to another. That suitcase has probably moved 4 or 5 times and never been opened.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like archaeology sometimes, right? And
Yeah.
I think that might be part of why some people don't want to get rid of stuff, because they haven't had a chance to go through it and see if there's something interesting that you want to keep. But that
Yeah.
requires looking at this giant pile of stuff and going, okay, I'm going to have to start digging through this to
Yeah.
see if there's anything I want. And it's just daunting. I mean, it's daunting. I know it's
It's
daunting for
daunting,
me.
and the more you have, the more daunting it gets, and that's
Yeah.
the hardest part. And the thing is that part of it now is that we getting on to like how to do it. The first thing I would say is you want to come up with some kind of a system that you're going to like think, okay, I'm going to do this first, and I'm going to do this, and kind of make it a commitment each week. Even if you're putting in 20 minutes, if you're not getting ready to move next week, next month, whatever, just start. Because I think that's one of the big things is people get into overwhelm of what am I going to do with it all, and so they just shut the door on the spare room that's full of crap in the closet and everything else, and
Yeah.
But
Or it's like when you move stuff from one room to another, or it's like guests will show up and you go, okay,
Yeah.
let's move everything onto the bed, and then just leave everything on the bed, and
Yeah,
then you're like,
exactly.
okay, now I have to just bring it back, and there's no.
And I covered that in one of my things about the hidden cost of keeping everything, because we spend so much time moving stuff around
Yep.
to get to something else, and it probably adds up to years of our time of just moving things around to get to other things, and moving boxes from one storage unit or whatever to somewhere else that we're never going to open. And I think you just have to have a real reality check with yourself, of these are, I got a lot of stuff I have not even seen in
Yeah.
months or years. How much do I really need it? How much could somebody else use it? Because that can be an easier way to help you let things go. And also just realizing that how much are you keeping out of guilt? That's a big one. Like, my father died. There's still things that I have to really just go, you know what? And I just now say silently, like, sorry, Dad, but I can't hold on to all this stuff.
Right.
And being okay with letting go of that guilt. Because I mean, if everybody kept accumulating all the things from each generation, at some point it would get out of control anyway.
That's
So
right.
I read somewhere about, like, make a list of your legacy items that you really want to hold on to. And then try to get rid of everything else. So that's another way that you can start, is go around your house and say, I definitely want to keep these things. And that at least lets you know that you're going to have something.
Yeah. Well, the biggest problem that I find is there's a couple things. So one of them is we do have a impetus to start. So we go, okay, we're going to work on sort of like this corner of the bedroom. And we actually spend time working on this corner of the bedroom, like 2 hours every weekend or something like that. And then we get that corner of the bedroom clear.
Yeah.
And it's great. And then slowly
it fills. Well, that's because you haven't kept going with everywhere else. Yeah. Yeah. So the thing is, well, part of it too is you have to. So another thing that I'm finding has been very helpful is I have to look at it when I want to buy something. I have to now say, I have a choice. I can buy this thing, and I have to also be really realistic. Is it a need, what I call a need, a symbol, or a memory, and I can cover that another time. But is it either a need or is it something that's I want to hold on to or get, or is this retail therapy going on right now?
Right.
Or do I want to save that money for an experience?
Mm.
And I would say that's been one of the more powerful things for me right now is I hardly ever go in places like Target or whatever anymore. Because I know if I go in, I can easily get sucked in.
Yeah.
And so if
Yeah.
I need something there, I go in, I get it. I do not let myself go down the aisles of the things I'm likely to go, oh, well, that's kind of cute, or, oh, I
Yeah.
could use that, or that's a nice container, or whatever. So that's another thing that you might want to start doing is like every time you look at getting something that's not an absolute necessity, make it a choice.
Yeah. So I think that's actually, I was thinking about that just earlier before we got on the call, is that bringing new stuff in is always a problem. I think
Yeah.
might be the easiest thing to actually start with is to say,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? I'm not, because I love books. I love
Yes.
used books. I mean, we've been talking about this before. And there's this used book sale that happens every second weekend in Palo Alto, and it is the best that you find the
Just don't
best
go there.
stuff.
Just
And
don't go there.
I
Don't
haven't
even
been
walk
going.
in the door.
I haven't been going for months, and I just felt deprived. So I actually did go, and I bought. But you'll be proud of me. I only bought like a few books. I only got like
Only a few books.
I think I got 2 or 3, because usually I take a bag. Like I bring a bag
Yeah.
and I bring an entire bag.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like I'm listening. I'm making changes. I'm
Yeah.
slowly
You're just
getting
learning
better.
how to pare it down. Yeah. The other thing I would say, and I know that it's not the same. I know people like that feeling of books, but maybe quickly look up, see if you can find those books in some kind of a digital form.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if there's a copy that's been digitized or not. Because if it's not, I kind of get it to some degree. Especially if it's something in your, profession or your passions and things like that. But that's another way to maybe pare down a few more of them.
Yeah. These are just odd books.
Yeah.
I like finding old weird books from like the 60s and 70s, and like bizarre
Yeah.
bizarre topics, really strange things you'd never find anywhere else. I mean,
Yeah.
or they're like vintage and they're like $25 online or something like that.
Yeah.
And I intend to read them, but then I keep looking at my library and I'm going, how am I going to
How
get
are you
through
going to
all
ever read it?
this?
That's the other thing is have a reality. Maybe go through your bookshelf too, and say, okay, I brought in 4 books and I really want to read them, but I have another 250 books over here that I haven't read yet.
Right.
And be honest with yourself, which ones you're probably not going to really get around to reading.
Yeah.
That the other ones are going to. So maybe you can have that as a way to trade out, to just get you started on because a lot of it's just being really honest with yourself.
Yeah. I think that's probably the hardest thing for me to do is books. So maybe I should start with something else,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you want to start with the easy thing. So a really good way to start with something is like in the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
because then you can like I just did underneath my sinks in my bathroom, and it was getting to the point where everything had spread and whatever, and I couldn't find things. And I went through, and I would say I didn't take out a lot because a lot of things are things I'll use in the next year, because
Sure.
these aren't things, But just even getting that into order and getting the stuff out that was maybe the end of a tube of something or whatever, just and having it in order.
Mm.
That actually drives me to do the next thing, because I now after I first do these things, I'll open up that thing when I go in the bathroom or I'm sitting on the toilet or whatever, and I open it up and I'm like, it feels so good that I can see everything, and that makes me want to make other places like that.
Yeah. So you
You know what
start
I
at one
mean?
place, make it pristine, and then use
Yeah.
that as inspiration for the rest of it.
Yes, exactly. Because once you realize the weight that's taken off of not knowing what's in those back corners,
Right.
and knowing that if you want to get to the thing that is in the back corner, you're going to have to move 10 other things.
Mm.
Like that right there for me is motivation, even if I wasn't going to go nomad at this point. It's more like just like I do not want, I find it's a real physical weight for me. I've realized just how much it holds you down when you're constantly moving and the amount of time you lose doing that.
Oh yeah. It's
You know what
insane.
I mean? Things like that, and the stress and getting aggravated and angry when you're out in the shed and it's hot and you're hot and sweaty and you're having to move everything out of the corner.
Yeah. My biggest
I'm sure
peeve is that
nobody
when
on here has done any of those
yeah,
things, but
my biggest peeve is when going into cupboards looking for things, and then there's just so much stuff packed in, and you're like, okay, I have to find this thing that it's at the back, and I have to move all these other things around. And then of course everything just goes flying across the
yeah,
room, and it's like, okay, now I have to just try and shove everything back in,
yeah.
like Tetris
And
style, to see if it would
that's
work.
like, and that keeps this big residual stress around you
Yeah,
because the next time you go in there, it's going to be the same.
yeah,
So
exactly.
that's another place you could start, especially like maybe the spice cupboard,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Go in and there's going to be 20 things of spices in there that you haven't used in 5 years. They've been
yeah.
sitting at the back somewhere. Get rid of them. You know what I mean? Or find a smaller,
But I might use them at
thing to
some
put
point
them
in the
in.
future.
Or find a smaller thing to put them in. Because
Right.
sometimes you've got a big jar of maybe garlic salt
Yeah,
and it's got that much left at the bottom. Why
yeah.
have a big jar in there? I actually do that a lot. I often downsize the containers things are in.
And
If
so
some things I
it's
know
probably
I'll
a
probably
good
use.
idea not to buy sort of smaller containers for that. So that's just bringing more stuff in. Just try and figure out how to
To some
squeeze it back
degree,
into something.
I think if you get like half a dozen containers, they can kind of recycle. It's this one gets empty, you finally empty it, and you get the next big thing of the garlic salt. You can put something else that's finally gotten there.
Yeah.
So there's
So
times that it's useful to bring in things to make it work.
right. Have you ever tried doing the Marie Kondo type stuff where where she
Yes.
just says like
I touch it
pull
and see if I still love it or whatever.
no, yeah, well that too, but pull everything of one type out, and then
Oh
just
yes.
throw like for example,
Well,
take
that's why.
all of your clothes and throw them on the bed,
Yeah,
like from everywhere in the house,
everywhere. I've
and then
been doing that,
just go through each individual item and go, do I
and
need
that's why I'm
this? Do I
saying.
not need this?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like get everything out of this spice closet, and also like closets. Although there's some attachment to those spices, it's not going to have the same weight as personal items that somebody gave
Right.
you or whatever. So that's a place. But yeah, recently I went through my T-shirt drawer, took everything out of my T-shirt drawer, and I had a lot of older T-shirts that I was keeping just in case I wanted to use them for working in. Well,
Hmm.
I used the same 3 T-shirts to work in. And there's about another 8 that I have been in the just in case I need them. And I was like, you know what? I have not even touched those in a year since the last time I went through the T-shirts, which was my first round. And I was like, I wear these 3. The
Yep.
rest are going.
Yep.
Shoes, I did the same thing. I brought all my shoes, flip-flops, everything out, put them all on the floor. The good thing about doing that too, when you say if you pull everything from everywhere and then you put it on the bed or whatever, that's when you go, oh crap.
When you see the
You
pile,
know,
the
yeah, it's
enormous
kind of
pile
an
of everything.
yeah, and the thing is, I in one of my articles I put in a thing that there's one of these stats, my most recent one, consuming versus experiencing, that um, that the average woman in 1956 used to have something like 8 outfits,
Hmm.
and now they have something like 40 outfits
Wow,
on average,
that is
right?
nuts. But you
Yeah.
still only need 8 outfits because that's all people wear.
Probably, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So, and you might need more than that if you have like a job that needs a certain outfit and
sure.
yeah. So I might need something for my job. Although to be honest, these are my scrubs from work, and I have two sets of these. That's all I need.
Yeah,
Black scrubs. That's it. Um, but then you might have something. So you might have work, and then you're going to have just hanging around the home, and you're going to have the going out to dinner, and you're going to have working in the garden.
yeah,
So we might have more things, but we still don't necessarily need 40,
yeah,
outfits or whatever.
yeah.
So that's another thing. So yeah, putting them out. I have done that now. I took all my dresses out last year. I pared down the first lot, thinking I might maybe go to New Year's and need a fancy dress for that, and keeping a couple others in case I might go out on dates. Well, none of that's happened in the meantime. So guess what's
Right.
going next? It's on my to-do list to put all my dresses on the bed. I don't wear a lot of dresses. I probably will wear a few more if I'm on the road, if I have space for them. But it's just I'm always in the garden and stuff. Um, So the next thing is going to take all those dresses that I have down to maybe 4.
Mm.
The ones that I
Wow,
know that
that
I'll
is
wear.
really impressive.
You know, 4 to maybe 6, but that because by the time I actually hit the road, I'm going to have to get it down to probably 1, maybe 2.
Right, right.
So,
And they have to be
so I'm just
specific,
going to.
like ones that wear well when you're traveling, right?
Well, that's the other thing. So I have to be really honest with myself. So I might keep 6 back to, wear now, but I'll know that this dress over here wrinkles really easy, and so I already know that one's not going to come with. So what I keep back will have to have at least a few that have the potential to go on the road with me.
So
So that's another way to do it.
but still do it. You can do it by type though. So just pull all your clothes
Yeah,
out and do them all at once.
yeah.
But it's
Because I think we have so many different, groups of clothing for different things. I would do the group of clothing at least the first time.
mm.
you know. But if you really, really do want to make yourself embarrassed, put it all on the bed.
And the trick
Because the other
also
thing is
is
because then they all have to go back in the closet,
yes,
right?
yeah,
So like you're going to have to think twice before you put it back.
yeah. But the other trick is you have to make sure you get all of it.
Oh
Because
yeah,
you might have boxes of shoes in the garage, or you may have some over here, you may have some over
yeah,
here. You have to scour your entire house from top to
yeah.
bottom and go like
Well,
every piece of clothing and bring
yeah.
it
Right
all
now, for
together.
many of us, we're in the change of seasons.
Yeah,
So I actually have had a big reality check too because I'd gone through my winter stuff. And for the first time ever, I had taken all my winter stuff that I wasn't going to wear in the summer and I put them into their own little boxes. Um, and I put them up in my closet. And then winter came, and I think 3 items came out of all those boxes.
right.
So my next thing is to, along with the dresses, is probably going to be to go through the jackets. Now, I may hold on to them now to wait till fall to take to the, because I'll probably take them to the homeless shelters. Certainly anything that would be useful there.
Right.
And they're not going to want them right now, but at least I will have them boxed, put somewhere in a back corner, in a place that I know I don't need until fall. And then first thing in the fall, as soon as the weather gets cooler, I will take that box and I won't even look in it. It'll
Yeah.
just go straight out. It'll be
Yeah.
marked, fall clothes to donate.
No, that's actually a really good idea. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and you only want to eat half the meal, you could actually tell
Yeah,
them box half of it up
yeah,
and and then give it to me at the end of the meal or just
yeah,
have it there and don't open it until you get
yeah,
back. So actually
yeah,
that's a really smart idea because it's kind of out of sight out of mind until it's ready to go. Or you can just
yeah,
drop it up right away. I'm a big
yeah.
fan of getting rid of stuff
As
immediately.
soon as
Like
you can.
the
Oh,
moment
I'm
yeah,
saying
the
for
moment I have
most things I would, yes.
yeah, the moment I have a pile of things to get rid of, I'm like, get them out of here. Because
Yeah,
I
no,
like seeing the empty
that's
space.
100%.
Yeah.
That's 100%. I've had the door shut here, but I have like a little table behind my couch right by my door, and that's where like keys and everything go. But I happened to find a cardboard box recently that fits perfectly under there. And that
Nice.
has become my get rid of stuff box. So when it's full, which it is now, this recently finally got full. I'm going to take that box out this week. I'm going to, spread everything out. I will fold all the clothes that I just jammed in there. Some of them are folded, some aren't. Take all the things that are breakable and make sure that they're in something that will keep them safe. And we actually have a really good place called Free to Thrift that pretty much will take everything. One of the problems with thrift stores is they often want to pick and choose what they want.
Really.
And that's a
Yeah.
nuisance. Yeah. Some of them are like, oh, I want that, that, that. And then they give it all back to you. But this place takes everything. They cycle it through about 4 weeks, and if it hasn't sold, it goes into free room. And if it doesn't go there, then they recycle as much of it as they can.
Oh,
Their
that's
whole
great.
thing is to keep stuff out of the dumpster, and then their profits go to local charities. So I'm very fortunate I have this because it's so nice. I just go in. I don't have to worry about somebody, handing most of the box back to me. I know that somebody can use most of the stuff. I'm not giving them junk.
Yeah,
Um, and and they will recycle whatever isn't useful.
that's great. That's
So
great. We have. Do you have Savers where you are?
no,
We have. So Savers is similar to that, but there are a few things that they won't take. But Goodwill takes a
yes,
lot, but
yeah,
they don't take everything. And some of them will take more than others. And
yeah,
Savers takes everything, and they don't have any. almost everything. They won't take car parts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they won't. There's a few
Yeah.
things that they won't take, but almost everything, and no questions asked either. So you
Yeah.
just drop off this giant bag of God knows
Yeah.
what, and Goodwill says, "Oh, you got to sort it out for me," and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
There's just so much in
Exactly.
there.
Yeah. So yeah, what I would say for people though is just to try to get some idea of what to do or whatever. Start in a room that's easy,
Mm,
bathrooms, entryways, cars, your car. Go through all those things, and just create space, because for me creating space is what, and openness is what drives me to do the next thing. But those things are going to mostly have, the kitchen also is going to have the plastic containers that you don't have the tops for.
oh yeah, those are easy to get
Things
rid
like
of
that.
though, because they're
Well, that's
identifiable.
but I'm saying, but that's easy. But it still
Yeah,
starts that ability to go, oh yeah, I don't need that. Why did I keep
yeah,
that in the drawer for the last 2 years when I knew it didn't have the top
yeah.
or whatever? So things like that, or if you're doing the bathroom, skin creams, you're not using the almost empty tube of toothpaste when you're already using another tube of toothpaste. Like, just start getting rid of these simple stuff, and then you can go in the kitchen, like I say, do your spices, get rid of, go in the drawers and get rid of duplicates of things. And one of my next things that's also on my mind is to go through the gadgets in the kitchen that I never
Mm,
use.
mm.
I've got
Yeah,
some of my mother's
we've got
old stuff,
many drawers full of gadgets.
and,
Actually,
and
I
you can't
really
get to the one you want half the time. Again, you're
no,
moving everything around to get to the one you want, and you only use about 5 gadgets out of that whole drawer most of the time.
exactly. And those are the things that come
Yeah,
out. They get used, they get washed, and they go back in. And
yeah,
it's full of other stuff.
yeah.
But I really like
So
the idea of starting with the smallest room, because if you
yeah,
start with the smallest room, then that's the quickest thing to clear out. And
yes,
it's like, but the thing that still bothers me is recidivism, right? How do you get back? How do you stop yourself from like going back and refilling it again, like once it's
again,
clear?
choice.
Yeah.
Do I need it? First of all, is it a need? If it's
Mm,
a need, it's a need. If it's a want, do I want this more than I want something else in the
mm,
future?
mm,
You know, do I want to have this thing that could possibly just get moved around or sitting in a corner? Am I going to really wear it? You know, or is it something that reminds me of a former self? Like how many times, especially us women, will buy something that we really know is probably too small for us, but we think we're going to lose the weight to get into it, and that sits with its tag on it.
I do that too.
And you got to look at
We
it
all
and
have
go,
the aspirational wardrobe, right?
yeah, yeah. Again, we want to go to that former self and whatever. And so, or you still have. I had a bunch of pairs of jeans that were size 12. It's been a little while since I've been at 12. I fluctuate between a 14 and 16 now, but 12 is. I think I'll get there on the road because I'll be more active and less
Yeah,
junk food. But once I'm on the road, I can get something there.
yeah,
If I'm suddenly too big for everything, I'll just donate to a thrift shop or whatever. And the other thing is I can go in the thrift shop and donate that and then find something that fits,
that's right.
you
Yeah,
know?
I'm kind of stuck in that same place too, because I'm like, okay, I have this aspiration that I'm going to be, so many sizes lower, so I have all these clothes that will fit me if I'm smaller, but I feel like if I get rid of them, I'm giving up on that
Yeah.
vision, and I guess I just have to cut myself off and say, listen, if I need to get new clothes if I'm skinnier, then I will do that then. But
Yeah.
for now, let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like I say, you just got to keep getting real with yourself and get into a habit. Do I need it? And if I don't need it, do I want it more than I want something else? You
So
know,
what do you do with things like tchotchkes and souvenirs and stuff like that has some kind of emotional connection
well,
to
for
something that
me,
you've done in the past?
I currently have a glass fronted, I don't know what they call it, but it's a piece of furniture that you can put things behind the glass, right?
Right, right.
And if it doesn't fit in there for me, I'm not keeping it at this point because I hate dusting that crap more than I like looking at it. I remember I had this house years ago when the kids were little, and we had stuff on the mantle, and we had stuff over here, and we had stuff over there, and then
Stuff
you have
everywhere.
kids, and you have people coming over, and there's dust everywhere, and you got to take all those things off and dust them as well as. And whereas now I would have the mantelpiece with 3 items on it, 3 nice, probably bigger things, and that's going to be it. Take them off.
Yeah.
It's dust it, wipe them real quick, done.
Yeah.
So for me, any of those things, or if it's something that's going to sit in a box, and unless it comes out for something very special, maybe, I just don't want those little things anymore. So for me, it's just like I've got this thing. If I see something little and I'm like, it's cute, it's like, yeah, but I got to dust it.
Well, that's for new things. But what about stuff that you've had forever? Like, you're going through your stuff and maybe you find your kids' old watercolors that they did at school,
Yeah.
and with their names on it, like they did it when they were 6 and stuff like that.
Watercolors, I would scan them
Mm.
and then ask the kid if they want them.
Mm.
All right.
You're like, Mom, I don't want any of your stuff.
Well, that's the thing. That's the other reality check is how much do your kids want your crap? Usually they don't want much of it, right?
Yeah.
So I would do that. Like I have come across like a little pot that one of my daughters made. It's cute. A little ceramic thing. I think they did the little thing where they would roll it and then do it in the circle.
Oh, yeah,
and then,
yeah. I have a couple of those.
Make a little, right. But it probably won't hold water for a start, whatever. So I'm going to actually ask her.
It's the art, right?
Yes, and my daughter knows what I'm doing, and so she knows I have to downsize, so I'll give her the option to keep it.
Mm.
If she wants to collect a bunch of crap, she can.
The crap can flow downhill.
Yes, exactly. Although if I didn't mention it, she would probably never even know that it was still there. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just also have to quietly, not let the guilt make you keep it.
Mm.
And another thing I've heard people do is they take a picture of it.
Mm.
So there's at least that part of the memory.
And then you just promptly forget about it, though. Like I find that
then it's going to sit in your digital cloud somewhere, and you're never going to see it there. But at least it's not like you don't have to move it around, and you don't want to ask me about photos. That's the thing that's going to really be my nightmare, because I used to do photography and I had film, and so I've got all the negatives, I've got all the copies. I do have some of those little 3.5 floppy disks. I don't even know if we can get the information off. That's one of the jobs. I got to take it to a place to see if they can do it. If they can, it's going to save me a lot of work, because those ones, if they can take that off and go through all those photos and go, we don't need most of them.
Yeah.
But I had my father's photos as well. So I probably have about 6 or 7 boxes like this, sort of, 18 by 14 by 14 or something like that, that are full of photos and negatives and stuff to do with that. And, a lot of that's going to get scanned. It's just going to have to be probably next winter thing when you can't go out. Just stand by the scanner,
just
put it on, scan it. Yeah. Just get it digitized and then clean it up later.
See, it makes me think about, once you've digitized things, it's almost like they're going into even deeper storage, because at least when they're a physical object, you keep thinking that there's someday you're going to actually pull things out. It's kind of like, because I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to bring out the, albums, and we would sit there and we would look at these pictures, and you could actually reminisce and things like that. And I get this, and sure, they're in boxes now and we barely look at them, but there's the potential to pull them out and look at them. Yeah. And I think if I ever were to digitize those, they would just go into my digital cloud, and I would probably never see them again.
Yeah, well, what I plan to do is I'm going to actually get a cloud space for myself and my daughters.
Mm.
And we'll all have access.
Oh, that's
and
great.
Then that way, I think that's, for me, the best way to do it, because I know they have pictures I don't have that I'd like to see, and vice versa. And so we can all access it. And the other thing you could do, if you really do feel that you want a few physical things that you can easily pick up, is make some of those photo albums that you can do online now.
Mm.
Get your favorite 50 photos of mom and dad or whatever, and make one of those books up, because those are probably the 50 photos you're going to be looking for.
Right.
If you do go online anyway.
Yeah,
So
that makes
that's the one
sense.
that's the one you can sit down with grandkids and just go, oh yeah, and that was grandpa, and think something like that. So that would be another, even though you're making something else, if you've gotten rid of um if you've gotten rid of your the majority of the extra photos that you're and whatever, and it's all in the cloud, you've still drastically taken what you've got down to 1 or 2 or 3 books,
Hmm.
which would make you happy. You can have some more books.
At least some
But
books.
those are the ones, those are the ones that you can keep to bring out when the family's around and you want to go down memory lane. And then if somebody goes, oh, I really would like to know more about that, you're like, well, I have this folder in the cloud, and we can go to
Yeah,
that folder.
and you could just call it up. What about
Yeah.
digital picture frames and things like that? I guess you could do that as
I
well.
mean,
I
that's
mean,
another way
real
you can
time.
do it. I'm
Yeah.
not into them, but if you're really into it and you're, for me also, anything like that is just useless because I'm getting down to wanting to live out of a backpack. So,
Right.
for me, it's not a thing. But if you're just trying to generally, you know, knock down the stuff, that would be another way to do it.
Yeah.
It's just because, again, it's going to keep going through and you're going to keep seeing the pictures or whatever. And it's an easy way to just have a memory there without having to have 500 pictures stuck up on your wall.
Yeah. And do the same thing with tchotchkes and other
Yeah,
souvenirs that are not photos. Just take a digital photo of it, and then you can
yeah,
safely get rid of it or hand it off to a
yeah.
kid, and
Yes,
then at least
exactly.
you have some memories of it. That
Exactly.
that
You
that
say,
makes a
oh,
lot of sense.
yeah, and then they're going to, get into things like some of the hard parts of, your closets and clothes and stuff like that. Um, like I say, I would either do it by group, like dresses or whatever, or the whole thing. And I would say if you can, just do the whole thing, but that can be overwhelming. The other thing is try to do it in, between half-hour and 2-hour bursts,
Yeah,
so
that's
you
what I was
don't
going
burn
to ask
yourself
you.
down.
Like, how long do you spend doing this? Like, do you do it every
Most
day for
most
half an
things.
hour, or
For me, I try once or twice a week to right now, like I say, I've got several things in my mind that are my next things that's going to be the dresses again. I basically over the winter went through pretty much every drawer in every closet. Um,
nice?
and, and it is nice because now, and it was kind of embarrassing because the another thing I did was all my boots, and again with the reviewing, I could get a lot, so I had all these boots, right? Had this visions of grandeur of me wearing all these boots. Well, there's again two or three pairs that I wear, right? Um, so I cut them in half, and what my criteria was. And the other thing, you can have criteria. My criteria with the first round of purging boots was if they're not comfortable, I don't care how cute they are, I don't care how much I loved them, and how many memories I have with them. If they're not comfortable, I'm not even looking at them.
Right.
They had to go straight away. So that was my first round. And so the next round, now that I took that out, now I remember I have boots that I forgot I had. And
Mm,
so now I'm picking out the boots that I'm more likely to wear. So next, along with those winter jackets, the next thing that will happen in the fall will be going through all the boots again, and I'll try to take it down to 2 or 3 pairs. And then I don't even know if I'm going to be able to take any of those with me because,
mm,
again, backpacks only have so much space.
yeah. Well,
But
yeah. I mean,
that'll get
you
me
probably
through
have
that
to go
winter.
down to a really small number of footwear, right? I mean, just
Oh yeah, you pretty
like
much have your comfortable pair, your flip flops, and maybe a slightly nicer pair for me might be like ballet flat type thing or
yeah,
something like that.
because you're going
So
for
yeah,
complete. You're going to become
yeah,
a complete nomad. You're like getting rid of absolutely
yeah.
everything.
Pretty
Wow.
much. I'm going to have a few things I will hold back that I'm hoping my daughter will have space for. So I don't have to pay for a storage unit. Because that was another one of the thing. I'm going to pull this up. Uh,
See, that's another thing for
so,
I think storage units are like they're like a crutch, right? Because people
yeah,
have storage units, and then they just put stuff there to hide it. And they don't get rid of it. So if you have a storage
yeah.
unit, there's so much.
So,
It's just like having a garage. I mean, our garage is basically
oh,
like a storage unit.
oh. So let me give you some numbers here. 1 out of
Okay.
every 10 Americans rent offsite storage. It's the fastest growing segment of commercial real estate industry over the past 4 decades.
Oh my God, that's insane. That's insane.
Now, this number is controversial, but the number of items that's bounced around for that's in each person's home is 300,000 items.
Holy crap!
Now, the counter argument is: are you saying that this thing full of papers is like 50 items or not?
Right.
Okay, but they also say that the Europeans has about 10,000 items or something like that. And even that sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
And taking it down even smaller, a friend of mine's, or one of my clients' sons, had just gotten an apartment last year, single boy, just getting stuff, did a lot of, buy nothing and whatever to get things or whatever. And a neighbor started a fire, and so he basically lost everything.
Oh,
because
man.
some of the fire came through the roof.
Jeez.
So they had to categorize everything he lost. And she said, "Oh yeah, we counted 450 items, and that felt like a lot."
Oh my God.
Going from nothing in 1 year to 450 items for
Yeah.
a single guy with no kids. Imagine when you have kids and all their toys.
Yeah.
And things like that. So yeah, that was some of those numbers.
That's not really surprising to me because there's so
Oh,
much.
and
I'm just looking around my office and I'm going, there must be at least 1,200 things in here. Like
Yeah.
just from the
Yes.
from the pictures on the walls to figurines and this and that and books and etc.
Yeah.
It's like I would not be surprised if there was at least that many
Yeah.
items in here.
So
It's
get this one. 25% of people with 2-car garages don't have room to park their cars.
guilty.
All right. And only 32% have room for one vehicle.
Wow. Yeah.
Basically, nature abhors a vacuum.
It's so true.
Right. Yeah, so there's that. I'm trying to see some of these other numbers that were really quite stark for
It
me.
feels like you need a lot of willpower to fight back against that, though, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like
Again,
there's a lot
I
of
think it's a
problems.
combination. I do think that there might be a psychological thing that's deep within our soul about losing things and not having things, and that if something happens, and I got rid of that thing 5 years ago, I could have used it, and now I have to buy it or whatever, or I can't get it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we just kind of have to fight because, yes, everything could crash and everything could, go south and we could need those things. But you know what? Again, how much of it is a need? If you want to prep a little bit for the disasters, how much of it is really a need that you would need in a disaster?
Yeah.
You don't
need that
the biggest
collection
thing,
of antique cigar ashtrays, right? That's
yes,
not essential.
exactly. And Americans spend more on shoes, jewelry, and watches, 100 billion, than on higher education.
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah. And they say that we can consume twice as many material goods today as we did 50 years ago. So that's another one.
So is it because we all have big houses? I mean, my house is only about 1,100 square feet, so it's not very big.
So
but I still feel like I have a lot of stuff.
Well, they say that our houses are 3 times bigger than they were 50 years ago. All right. And by the way, we also spend 1.2 trillion on non-essential goods, things that we really don't need.
Right.
When you start looking at it like that, it's again, for me, it helps me go, oh yeah, I don't want to be part of that. 23% of adults pay late fees on bills because they lost them.
Oh, I'm not surprised at that, but my wife is really, really good about that. She's the CFO of the family, so she's like on top of all of that stuff, so we never have to worry about that. But
the average person spends $1,000 a year replacing items they can't find. And 14% of items in the closets have never had the price tag removed.
Wow. And of course, if you can't find something and then you buy it and you replace it, the moment you buy it, you find it.
Of course. Right. So going on to then, how do you get rid of it? Okay. if you're doing like me and you're taking the big leap, you can do like, I think it was the other Chris was talking about, she did an estate sale.
Yeah.
Right. And because she didn't want to mess with any of it. And I don't blame her. And, for me, in some ways, if I could afford to do that, I might. But for me, selling some of these things is helping me pay bills right now. So, um, and also it's for me, some things it's nice that I can kind of know who some things went to. It makes me
Right.
feel good because it's like, oh, you can use this. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to get rid of it if I can find somebody that really wants it, especially if it's like older stuff, vintage things and whatever. It's like, I'm not going to use it anyway, and I'd rather
Yeah.
have somebody that uses it.
Yeah.
So you start with the sales, selling online. I in my post, I don't want to go through everything, but if people want to look it up, and I actually think I'm going to combine these into one post today or tomorrow. But I did one on getting rid of of everything, getting rid of what stands between you and freedom. I have a whole list of places like eBay, Craigslist, Marketplace. I have the whole list of different things, and then there's specialty shops for like antiques and comic books, and for clothing, like is Poshmark and vinyl records. So there's often specialty places
But don't
that
you
you
find that
can.
that takes up a lot of time? That's the thing that would drive me crazy because I have a
Yeah, well,
comic book collection I want to
yeah,
get rid of, but
well, if you did the books, you just take all the books to a bookseller
right.
rather than selling them individually. Same with the vinyl records, same with the comic books. So those things you can often find a place. Um, and there's also the buy nothing places on Facebook. They're a great place to do things. The only problem is you have to organize people picking things up, but you can often just have it porch pickup. It's like, okay, Sally, you're getting this. It's going to be in a paper bag with Sally written on it, and you don't have
Right.
to interact as much.
Yeah.
But if things are worthwhile and or you need the money, places like eBay and the specialty places for specialty items can be a godsend and help you, get through whatever you're getting through. Tag sales. The only problem with tag sales is that people will give you the lowest bottom dollar they can get away with.
Hmm.
You know, but again, good way to just offload a lot of crap.
Well, yeah, I
Um,
think that's the main reason why you do it is not because you
yeah,
want top dollar. It's because you just want to
yeah,
get rid of it and you're happy
exactly.
to get
And
anything for
and
it.
and one of the things you might do on the earlier end of things is again giving things away to people who would appreciate them,
Right.
especially if it's friends and things like that. And you can let them know that no, I'm not going to be doing anything silly with myself because that's evidently one of the things that can be a sign, shall we say, if somebody's in a really bad place. And you just say, "Look,
Right.
I'm in the process of downsizing." And I know that you love I've got a whole pile of cameras that were my
Mm,
dad's and a few of mine. They're old cameras,
nice.
and I need to reach out to his old minister because I know that man is a camera fanatic.
Mm.
And he was so good with my father that it will make me really happy to just box it up if he wants it and ship it to him.
Oh, that'd be great.
So that's another way that I'm finding to get rid of things because, it makes me happy to put them in the hands of somebody that wants them, and especially if it's somebody I know.
So, how are you finding the time to do all this?
Again,
That's the thing. I like when can I squeeze this in? Because I want to spend a little bit of time here, a little
yeah,
bit of time
20,
there.
20 minutes to 2 hours max. The other thing is to just get started. Look around your office and say, I'm going to pick out 10 items I don't need.
Mm.
Put them in a box, drop them off at the thrift store when you're going past it. Put it on the floor of the front seat of the car so you keep seeing it, so you'll drop it off. Don't put
And
it
then how often do I
don't put
how
it in the
often do I do
trunk
that?
because you'll probably forget about it. I just do it as often as I have enough to make it worth me. Mine is right near the post office, and I
Mm.
have a PO box, so I go there about once a week. So I just put it in the car when I'm going to the post office that day. So if you know that there's certain portions of town you can, then start just making it a habit that, Thursday you go to the post office, and the thrift store is there on Thursday. Everything that you've put aside goes in the car and it goes away.
Have you got some kind of time frame as to when you're thinking about finishing?
About this time next year.
Okay, so you've set yourself. And how do you feel about it right now? Do you think you're going to make it, or
I mean, it's worst comes to worst, I do a tag sale.
right?
You know what I mean? or I just take it to the thrift store or whatever. But it's helping me pare things down pretty drastically. And I gotta say, my stress levels just from getting rid of stuff are going down so much that that's another like a reward system for me. So that's actually helping me want to get rid of them as well, and that makes me drives me to, like I say, I usually have 4 or 5 things that I've now said, it's come to my mind, like when I thought about the dresses, and I was like, yeah, I went through them, but my closet's still fuller than it really needs to be, and a lot of that is these dresses. So that's when I have 20 minutes one day, because that's will be pretty easy. It's probably going to be 20 dresses at max. And I'm going to take it down to 4 or 5, and I already know 2 or 3, probably at least 2 that'll be the stayers. So it's just going to be picking out the others, and then the rest are just going to go.
Right.
So that doesn't have to take a lot of time. And again, going into a room and I've had times with, especially with knickknacks and smaller things, I'm in the room and I'm like, oh, I don't need that. And so that goes in my little box that's underneath my desk in the hallway, for the next drop off. I just take it out, I put it in there, I forget about it.
So do you have a box in every room for this sort of thing?
No, right now I'm keeping this by the front door. And when it's full, that'll be either a couple small boxes or a couple bags of stuff. And like I say, then when I go to the post office, I just take them, however much it is, get rid of it.
Yeah.
The sooner I can get rid of it, the easier it is for me to not go back and look for it too.
Yeah. Yeah. We are doing that. I do have a little bag of stuff at the door ready to go as soon as we're ready to go. And I just keep throwing stuff into it. But I just finding the time and the effort to just like carve out those 20 minutes or whatever and go, let me look around the room. And it's like, do I really need that? Well, I just bought that. I mean, it's just so hard to make those decisions.
Another thing that might be, sometimes there's emotional attachments, but sometimes it's not. Things like getting rid of your old manuals, dated files, out-of-date files, your old tax stuff that you held on to that you don't need to keep because it's now been the right amount of time, stacks of mail, any of that stuff, So every time I'm going through a room, if something catches my eye that I'm like, I don't need that, it goes somewhere. It goes either in trash or whatever. So I'm constantly doing micro, cutting down on things as well.
Actually, that's a good way to do it because it doesn't require a huge block of time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say, you're at some point you'll get to the point of, I really would like to keep these things and whatever, but and so those things, are untouchable, at least for now. You may still have to pair them, but that's going to be when you're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Right.
But just get rid of as much as you can of the things that you're like, I really don't need that.
Yeah. But I still need my 50
It's funny because the more you do it, I think also the easier it gets.
Yeah.
When you look at something sometimes, like I remember when I finally pulled the jeans out, they were 2 sizes too small. And I'm like, why have I held on to these? when it became pretty obvious that my derriere wants to keep, everything that's there, and my body's really good at making me just hungry enough, to keep that weight there, and it's just like it's just not worth it anymore. And I was like, you know what? I just and when I sort of had learned that was me trying to hold on to a former version of myself, that actually really helped. So that was another one.
That's a really good way of thinking about it because I have that same thing. I have an outfit, the outfit I was wearing when I met my wife. I still have it. And I pull it out every now and then. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, I am never going to fit into this ever again in my entire life. I give you a challenge.
I give you a challenge. Okay. Go pull that outfit out. Take a picture of it as it is now. Put it on and get a picture of you in it.
I don't think it would fit.
No, but that's my point. And get a picture of you in it, and that shows you the absurdity.
Yeah.
Right, and it's kind of fun, and that's actually that's your memory. Like you can have the picture of it, or you can put a picture of you in that outfit beside the one of you in it now, and just make fun of it, make it fun. I want to see that picture. By the way,
I love that. I'm gonna do that. You know, that is a really great idea. So how did you come
Yeah.
across all these great ideas? Did you
I just sometimes that just came into my head, you know, because sometimes you have to see the absurdity of holding on to something.
yeah.
For
No,
me, with my clothing, some of it was like putting the clothing on.
yeah.
In fact, I was looking at getting a pair of pants the other day just because they looked like something I could use on the road, and they were really cute. But when I put them on, many of the women here will understand this. Let's just say that it was kind of lumpy. Like where the line of the underwear was, where the waistline was. And I was like, if I put on my clothes at home and they look at that like that now, they go in the donation pile.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so
I'm seeing hearts coming up right now.
yeah,
Like,
it's like
I think we
so
hit
we
a
got
nerve.
this is actually a really good comment. It's like the clothes with tags on them are the ones that upset me the most. And I think I'm
Yep.
like that too, because I have
Yep.
this really great shirt that I bought that I thought I was going to be able to wear, and it's still sitting in the cupboard. It still has its tags
Yep.
on, and I still feel like I can't get rid of that damn thing because it would be
Yep.
just a failure on my part. I feel like I'd have failed to get myself to the size where I was going to wear that. So that's going to be difficult for me to get rid of. Maybe I'll get rid of other
Yep.
things and I'll just keep
Yep.
that as aspirational, but I don't know. I mean, that's the toughest part for me too, because it's like when I bought it, I made the decision. When I bought it, I thought to myself, I'm going to be wearing this shirt one day, and that
Yep.
was, I guess, that was the dumbest decision to make. Because it's like I'm not wearing it
Oh,
now.
like I say, I had been actively hoping to find another partner, a partner, and it was to help share some of the load here in life and adventures and whatever. And I finally came to the conclusion: it's like this is obviously not happening anytime soon. But there's things I got because it was like, oh, that would be cute for going out on a date, you
Yeah,
know. Um, and I have plenty of other cute things, if I'm dating the person long enough that I feel I need more things than I can get them. But,
yeah,
at this point, why do I need to get
yeah,
another date outfit or whatever?
yeah.
So,
I think we have to understand that almost everything is replaceable, right?
yes,
Like if you
yeah,
don't
absolutely.
need it right now, you can always go get it again later.
100%,
Yeah,
100%. And if it, the other like little mantra that I'm trying to keep going is, less stuff means more life.
mm,
Because I have the money that I would have spent on the stuff. I'm not spending the time moving things around. You know, it's not taking up space of something that I really need, and I'm calmer and I'm happier.
mm,
So with all those things, it really makes it like it has stopped me. Even with the reviewing, if I used to get a lot of stuff because I could get it, at the cost of my taxes because we do
right.
get taxed on it. Thank you, Uncle Sam.
Hmm.
But but and I did got some great stuff. I really did some things I'm using a lot, including my main computer, and things like that. So, but again, it has to be a need at this
Yeah,
point. Not,
yeah.
not, not. Oh, that's a cute gadget, and maybe you saw my post about my strange addiction. I don't know if you
No,
saw that.
no, I
Oh,
haven't.
so that
What is
post
your
was
strange
actually about
addiction?
my two drawers, and I didn't even show the suitcases full of travel gadgets. That's another one of the things I got to go through soon. It's going to get put on the bed
Wait,
because I mean,
you have enough travel gadgets to have a case full of travel gadgets?
oh yeah,
Wow.
because again, I was able to review them and things like that, and a lot of them are
Right.
good ideas. But if I'm down to a backpack, most of them aren't going to be useful for me.
Man, you are
Uh,
totally hardcore. I don't know how you can get down to a backpack. That
It's
is
going to be it's going
great.
to be interesting. This is the girl who used to take the really big suitcase,
Yeah.
and I could pack it to 49.5 pounds for the 50-pound limit without even weighing it. I get it there. I was
Wow.
like, I hope it's okay. I go get it up on the thing, and it'd be 49.5. And I'm like, yes. And then
That's a
but the
skill.
thing is,
That's a
but
skill.
then But then you get there and you spend your week there, and you go home, and 3/4 of the things you took you didn't use.
That's right.
And that
That's
was
right.
part, again, that was another one of those reality checks I had to just keep telling myself. It's like, how many times have I, there goes the hearts,
Yeah.
how many times have I taken so much stuff on vacation? And, I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to be living in a bathing suit.
That's right. Overpacking
So
is this
yeah,
huge
so
thing.
I really need, the last couple times I've gone to Mexico now for my dental work, I have been practicing. This has been practicing for the road of only taking the backpack full.
Nice.
And it's amazing because, like, this next time I go, it's going to be warm enough. I will probably be in, shorts and a couple bathing suits most of the time, you know. And so I'm going to be able to get my weight down even further just because of the reality of that situation. So yeah, I'm sort of using that as, and that's the other thing is, if you're going on vacation, why not see how little you can get by with on vacation, which is a reality check for life.
Yeah. No, I
So
love
that
that.
might be another, I just thought of that, but that's actually kind of how is helping me let go of stuff, because when I
Yeah.
realized I just spent 2 weeks in this place, I had more than enough outfits, and I actually had taken, probably for the 2 weeks, I probably had the equivalent of, because some things could cross over, probably 10 outfits.
Wow. So you still
You
had a
know,
lot.
I had a lot, but a lot of it was crossover stuff. So,
Yeah.
you can pare down your closet to have, things that mix and match better.
Mm.
And, so things like that can help as well if you're really trying to get a little hardcore. It's like, what, I have a few things, I pull them out and I'm like, I have nothing else that will go with this. Like, I don't have a top that matches this. Why do I have
Yeah.
these pants? I have
So
nothing to match it.
you shouldn't have them in that case. All right. Well,
Exactly.
we should probably wrap up because it's been an hour.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what would be the number one thing you'd say to somebody who is facing this daunting task of working on this pile of stuff that they want to get rid of? What's the first thing you would tell them to do?
Part of it is maybe being honest with yourself about how you process, you know what I mean? Like, what's important to you. And maybe experiment a little bit with some of the different things we talked about. For me, like, it's seeing those clean open spaces just
Mm.
makes me want to see more of it. And tackle something small, tackle something that's you don't have a lot of emotional attachment to. Go through like, say, as you're going through your house, you see something, it's like, why do I keep hold of that?
Mm.
Just get rid of it, right? Don't keep passing it up and leaving it there. Get rid of it. So start small, celebrate the wins, find out what drives you to, what is you're getting out of getting rid of it too. And again, everything has to be more of a need than a want, for some reason.
Yeah. So you have to get yourself into that mindset.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this has been great. Thank you so much. Very
Yeah.
helpful. And I'll have to
Yeah.
send you that picture when I get it done.
Yeah. And by the way, have you looked at that drawer of pens yet?
I've got them all right here.
Nobody probably knows it here, but I suggested on another call that he just as a simple way to start is look in his drawer and go, he probably has 50 pens and compare it down to 10. And of course, as a writer, he was all aghast.
Yeah, I was like,
I can't let
my
go of my
cold dead
pen.
hands. That's where you're gonna get my pens.
Yeah.
All right. It was great talking with you. This is fantastic.
Same here.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Talk to you later.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I'm living that nomad life, city to city, feeling alive. From mountain tops to ocean drives, unchained, I thrive, I thrive. Oh, I thrive.